Today I want to do a little bit more work on the book that I started yesterday on the live stream I did with Christy Biddleston. I will put a link down in the video description so you can go check that out in case you missed it. But we were working on projects for Victor over in Ukraine, and I had a whole collection of these empty bags of Lindt chocolates. Don't judge, because yeah, I really like these chocolates. So I saved the bags because they're pretty, right? They're kind of elegant looking. So what I did was I cut off the top and the bottom of the bags so that they measure 7 1/4 inches. That just happens to be how they ended up. I just kind of eyeballed it, really. And then folded them in half, and my idea was to make some kind of an accordion binding for them, and you know, put them in here and then put stuff in it. And look, it's got the little window. I just think this will be cute. So that's what I did, and I was just I was winging it through the whole thing, you know. But it started kind of coming together, so I want to keep going while it's still coming together. That was the one I didn't use. See, this one had red on it, and it bothered me. None of the rest of them had that. So this was my practice with that one, and then these are the real ones. And I love the colors. They're just really kind of, you know, elegant colors to me. So I wanted the book to be, I want it to look kind of pretty and elegant. So what I came up for the accordion binding was toilet paper tubes. And I have a whole bunch of them. I flatten them out with my heat press. I don't know, just because. So I just cut one side, opened them up. I ended up taping 3 of them together and then just scoring them so that it folds in an accordion, like so. And then I covered one side of it with some tissue paper. I think it's kind of a French script, but it's written in a way that you really can't hardly read it. I don't know. Maybe if you can read French, you can pick out some words, but it's not easy to read. I don't know what it says. I'm hoping it's something good. And then the other side, I had a piece of this really pretty kind of exotic paper printed with peacock feathers, and I don't know if the metallic shows up, but there is some metallic gold in there. Just really pretty paper. And I wasn't quite sure yet where I was going with it, you know, like if I glued the bags in, it would cover up some of the writing, but you know, that's okay. I went ahead and covered it anyway because I didn't know what I was going to do. Then I thought, well, I might sew them in, you know, sew each one on there because that would look cool. And then I remembered I had some fabric. Look at these strips of this is like silk, I think, and I bought a skirt at a thrift store, and I bought it specifically for the fabrics because it had some silk and some tulle. It was just a really cute little short skirt. And then I cut it up in strips because I've seen Rosemary Morris do this with a lot of her fabrics. And so I did it because Rosemary did it. And look at this. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is tie these on like so. This one's a little bit short. But, you know, make a knot back there and tie them on. And I think it would just look really cool to have these silk knots all across the spine when it's done. I could add beads or something. I don't know. I'm not to that point yet, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. So the script is going to show if they're tied on or if they're sewed on, you know, you can still kind of see in between each one. So then I thought, well, okay, that's all fine and dandy, but that's really kind of boring. I could do something else in here. So in the same collection of weird exotic papers that I've got, I went through and I started cutting strips of more that kind of go along with, you know, the look of the bags. So just white and off-white with some gold colors and pretty patterns, and some of them have bling on it, and I know Victor likes a little bling now and then. So I've got all these, and I think what I'm going to do is I just cut them down a little bit narrower than the things right here, than the pleats or the accordions. I think I'll just put one in each thing. Ooh, you know what? I'm going to need twice as many though if I do that. No, this will be, let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, I think I cut, did I cut 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I did. I cut 12 different ones. Oh look, it's almost like I knew what I was doing. So I'm just going to take and glue these into here like so on each one, just so there's something pretty to look at. Yeah. And what glue am I going to use? I don't know. I'm going to use maybe some of this, because some of these are going to be, you know, thin and super easy to glue, but then some of them are kind of thick. You know, they've got some, where's that one? Like this one has an embossed, you know, pattern, and it's just super raised up. So I'm going to need, and it's also really smooth and shiny, I'm going to need something pretty sticky to hold that one down. So let me see if I can get anything out of this. I know it's been sitting for a while, so I'm not real sure. Really? I have no scrap paper. That's not a scrap. Where's the scrap? Oh, come on, Shannon. Oh, by the trash can. That'll work. Ew, gross. Not the smartest idea I've had today. Okay. Oh, it's coming out. Okay. Yeah, I think I can still use this. My little tips get kind of clogged up if I don't use it for a while. Oh yeah, so I'm going to clean that out a little bit. I'm going to use this. Oh, this is Helmar Premium Craft Glue. It's one of these silicone kind of, I guess, ish based glues from Helmar. You know, something like Beacon 3-in-1 or Helmar 450 or Fabrifix, whatever it is. Those are good for thick papers like this. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to glue those down, and then I'll come back and show you once I get that done. So that worked well. I glued all of my little paper strips on there. Y'all, isn't that pretty? And that glue worked perfectly. I trimmed off the top and bottom edge so they fit just right. I'll probably end up covering that edge with something. Maybe even just like a gold paint pen. I don't know. I'll see how I feel about it later. But, yep, this is fabulous. Now, I think what I want to do is put my pages in. I'm tying them in so it's not like, you know, not like I can't redo it if I change my mind. Or, that's not one. That is one. That is one. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got all 6 of them. And this is really the top of the bag, which, you know, logically you put it like this, but I kind of like the window. And I want to put something in each bag. I think I'm going to put them in like this. Yeah, just like that. Okay, got my strips here. So, just going to tie these on. And I've got more of these strips, so, you know, if I mess up, it's okay. So, yeah. And I'm trying to hold it down with one hand and then make the knot with the other, and I'm failing at both tasks. Okay. Now, retighten it, hold it down, and pull. There we go. Oh, that's exactly what I wanted. Oh, yeah. Kind of just like that. Have to kind of squinch it up a little bit. So, yep. Okay, I'm going to do that to each bag, and then I'll show you what I got. Well, it's coming right along. I've got all of my little bags tied in, and look at that. It just looks so pretty. I love it. Okay, here's what I learned, or, you know, what I should have known and didn't even think about. Remember I had said something about, oh, I might edge the accordion spine with some gold paint pen or something. Okay, I really should have done that before I started tying these on, because I got 2 of them tied on and then remembered that I wanted to put, you know, like a gold paint pen on the edges, so I had to kind of work around them. But fortunately I hadn't tied the rest on, so I just used a gold paint pen just to cover up the raw white edges on there. And I have to tell you, because, you know, some of my art supplies have been sitting unused and unloved for, you know, 2 years now at least. And this gold paint pen was one of them. It is called Pen Touch, and it's from Sakura. And I picked it up, shook it, it sounded like it was still good. Y'all, it's perfect. Like the nib didn't dry out or anything. So I'm telling you, this pen it has a good shelf life. It's an awesome gold pen, and it doesn't dry out quickly at all. FYI. So, edged in gold, tied in all my little guys, and I've been saving my, you know, any scraps that I've got. Where's my scrap? Yeah. I have a few extra of these. I believe these are silk, because I was kind of ironing them with my heat gun because I was too lazy to actually iron them. And it doesn't melt like a polyester would, so I'm pretty sure these are silk strips. But anyway, I'm saving my extra silk strips and fabric pieces, and then the little ends of these that I cut off, and I thought these would be perfect to slip in here and send to Victor. And then I started looking through my stash of the exotic papers, you know, where I got those. I had this baggie full of kind of small pieces, and I was just going to pick out some more to send to him. And I just thought, really, Shannon? Really, why? Just send him the whole thing. So yeah, I'm going to send him this whole bag of exotic paper scraps. There's some really cool stuff in here, and I think it's stuff he can really use. I mean, it looks just like his style, so yeah. I'm just going to send that whole bag. I'm still going to put stuff in here, but I'm going to find some other little things to put in there. So, next step, I think, should probably be the covers. See, I've got these 2 flaps right here to attach covers, and my first thought was just cut out some chipboard. This is a really heavy, like almost like bookboard, really, and I kind of eyeballed it and then came up with some measurements that would work, which ended up being, for this situation, about 4 1/8 inches tall by 4 1/4 inches wide. I wanted it to, you know, stick out a little bit here. So I thought I would just get these, cover them with some pretty paper, and call it done. But while I was looking through my stash of boards like this, I came across this book cover that I've been hoarding for years. And it's this big, it was a big dictionary, big old thick dictionary. And it's got the gold writing with kind of the tan background. Okay, goes perfect with this, right? So here's what I'm thinking. This is what I'm going to try. I've got my backup boards if this doesn't work, because I don't know if this is going to work. But I am going to use my template to cut. This little house thing is, you know, it's really kind of cool, but it doesn't fit exactly right on the template. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think I want that. But I do want the lettering because of the color. And, you know, it's just right. I think it's just right. So I can't just cut the edge because, see, this is the fabric is wrapped around the edge of the book board. And then I'll have, you know, one with a nice edge and then 3 sides that don't. And I just don't want that weirdness. So I'm going to move over a little and cut it like that. 2 pieces. And then, you know, I'll edge it in some way. But I'm going to see if I can use that for the cover. I've got a couple of Plan B options if this doesn't work out. This is super heavy book board, so I'm going to use my stack cutter, I think, to cut through it. This would take all day and cause me to have yet another surgery, I'm sure. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try my stack cutter, and if you don't know what that is, I'll put a picture up of what a stack cutter is, and it can go through, well, the one I have can go through 200 sheets of paper. It's a guillotine cutter, but the way it's designed, it'll go down through about 200 sheets of paper at a time. So it should handle this or this without any problems. So I'm going to go see if this works. Trace around this into probably just like that. That looks just about right. And cut it out and see how it goes. And then if not, we'll figure out Plan B. It worked! Yay! I love it when I don't have to worry about Plan B. So here's my front and back cover, and they're just like a tiny bit not the same size. I think one's a little bit bigger. In this case, it doesn't matter because my book is so fat. These aren't going to be right up next to each other, so no one will ever know, except all of us. But that's fine. This worked out great. There will be my front and back cover, and as you can see, my stack cutter just went right through that. You know, it takes a little effort pulling down, but as long as your blade's sharp, you know, it cuts through even heavy stuff like that. So there's this piece. Remember, I debated about this little house, and I think what I'm going to do is just pull the book cloth off of the backing and send this to Victor as a little collage piece that he can use if he wants it. So there's that. Next step is, this is the inside of those covers, and I want to put some paper. I cut some more of this paper, which is what I have on the binding. So I cut a couple of pieces to fit here, cut them down just a smidge smaller than the covers, and then I've got this washi tape that I believe I'm going to use to cover the edges like that, because it's just a pretty gold and silver. So I'm just going to glue this down with some white glue, you know, Mod Podge, whatever, and then edge it. And I'm not filming all of these, you know, little tedious little parts because I kind of want to keep the video short. Is everyone laughing with me? Yeah, short. Yeah, so the gluing and stuff, you don't need to see that. You basically know how to glue. So I'm going to glue these down and see if I can get this washi tape. This doesn't have a lot of sticky on it, and I hope there's enough to go around. If there's not, I'll use another one. So I may have to glue it, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, I think I'm finished. And I've been playing on this all day. So I don't remember exactly where I left off. Were we putting the covers on? Is that it? I think I was putting the covers on. Okay, so I'll explain the closure in a minute. But all I did was, yeah, I had put the washi tape. I did have to glue it. I put it around the edges of both the front and back cover, and then that paper on the inside, and then I just glued it to this last flap in my accordion spine. And after that, I got some of this tulle that was part of the same skirt, and I just ran it underneath each one of these ties so that, you know, nothing is glued down, so that way this can get really fat or it can go up small. You know, you just pull it and it can be smaller, and then he can just tie it, you know, however he wants. But I went ahead and started putting stuff in all the little pockets. This was so fun. So each little pocket has something in it. I have some scraps left over from this project, and then just some ephemera that I've collected, little flowers and tags and cutouts from book pages and embellishments. Just, you know, little things that I thought he might like. So that is it, y'all. This is gonna go to Victor. And it's kind of funny, when I started this project, I didn't set out to make something for Victor. I just set out to make something, you know, something to do while Christy was on the live stream making her cool flag books, and I didn't really want to distract from what she was doing. So I thought, oh, I'll just find something to do, you know, like busy work. And this started coming together, and like I didn't get too far into it, and I was like, oh, I'm making this for Victor. I really didn't even realize I was making it for Victor until I was already into it. And then I was like, oh yeah, this needs to go to Victor. I think he'll like this. So I hope that he does. Still collecting things. I've got a box set aside just specifically for him. I'm going to put a bunch of stuff into, and then when he gives us the all clear that it's okay to mail things over there again, then I'll have a nice box of stuff for him. But anyway, this was a fun project. It was not difficult. And it's something easily duplicated. You know, I mean, you don't have to have these same exact kinds of candy bags. You can use coffee bags, or really just any kind of envelopes or whatever to make something similar, and then just tie it onto this accordion base, which, you know, in my case, it was toilet paper rolls because the size was just exactly right. But you can use cardstock or whatever you want and make this fun little book. So, hope you enjoyed it. That's all I have. The end.